Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Peter Abraham. I'm a second career registered nurse focused in the areas of advanced illness, typically those that would qualify for either palliative care or hospice care. Those are two separate services. I'm also a certified end-of-life doula through the International Doula Life Movement, one of their part-time instructors focusing on continuing education development, as well as the creation of a 16-week, 48-hour course based on my book, Crucial End-of-Life Conversations. I am an avid book author, and coming out over the next several days is going to be a brand new book for end-of-life doulas working on care planning, looking at physical, emotional, social, and spiritual needs of those that we serve, including their families and their caregivers. An holistic view, 563 pages for the print copy. That's 21 chapters, 7 appendices, as complete and thorough as I could be. In this channel, we talk about issues related to death and dying. After all, we are all going to die. If we put as much planning, or even half as much planning, into dying as we did when we have children and friends and family are having children and we're planning with and for them, we have a better chance, so to speak. I'm not sure if I should use the word chance, of having a good and meaningful death. We can live a fuller life if we know that we have the end settled. And I'm not talking about, oh, I have my funeral plot. I'm talking about the living will for when you can't speak for yourself. I'm talking about the durable power of attorney to have somebody advocating with you. I'm talking about somebody like me being involved in your life in terms of how to handle from an independent point of view. You got this diagnosis or that diagnosis, or somebody told you to go in this direction and you're just not sure. And by the way, we don't make up your minds for you. I don't speak for you. I don't fill out your paperwork. I am here as a guide and a coach. So we'll have video discussions for my fellow hospice nurses, for my fellow holistic nurses. And Marie, by the way, Marie Peppers uses my motivational interviewing book in one of her, actually two of her courses to train LPNs and RNs to work remotely, to work from home. And she just shared with me today, this is being filmed on Monday, August 18th. She's incorporating one of the articles I just published on compassioncrossing.info in one of her courses. I so much appreciate you, Maria. I'm thankful that you were free to do that. I'm so thankful you told me that you're using it. And I am so impressed with what you're doing to promote nurses, whether it be people like me or other nurses, that you have opportunities away from the bedside. So I'm so grateful for that. But with that said, if we don't plan for the end, anyway, before I belabor that point, we have various videos on this issues. The topic for today is going to be a follow-up for a trade show that I participated in. I'm now in my home office. But this morning, from about 9:15 to almost 4 p.m. Eastern Time in Kentucky, I was at a free will clinic. There were more lawyers than I had imagined. I thought there was only going to be one, two, maybe three lawyers. I literally did not count them, but like on every corner of the room, there were two, three, four lawyers per corner. So I would not be surprised if the ending count, if Helen, who is one of the persons who put this together, would tell me, Peter, we had 12 to 15 lawyers, that would be highly believable. But they also had a number of small businesses like my own present. They had Joshua I'm going to I should go dig I don't have his card handy and I don't want to delay the recording. But Joshua, who I believe it's Farmers Bureau, but this is where my short-term memories like this. And had a lot to say that I learned so much from him about quality insurance that I did not realize until that conversation. And Helen was there, and Helen was kind because she was going to the different lawyers, send them to Peter after you get done doing their last will and testament. because Peter can talk to them about living wills. And Sandy was there from Century 21 and Just Love Coffee. She is one of the cornerstones of the community in terms of trying to help small businesses bloom. There was Donna Angel from the small business development portion of the chamber, and she was there to root and promote. There was Misty, I believe it's Misty Lakes, who does life coaching. I do life coaching, but from a healthcare, health transition standpoint, where Misty Lakes is looking at building, I'm hoping not to chop your words up, God confidence, how to live your life with confidence. So she was there, and there was a Jackie Tate Stewart, who is a local artist, well known in the Berea community, and she was there actually hand drawing and had her portraits and her paintings available for just to brighten up the atmosphere and for anyone who is interested in buying. But she was also involved in, I didn't know this, auctioning. But it was a wonderful, wonderful event. So before I go too far on this, and in a way I'm leading up to a resilient point, I believe that everyone in life should work on building resilience. We don't know when tragedy is going to come upon us. And tragedy is not always the big storms. It's not always a death in a family. It's not always somebody who drove through your home, God forbid, or you got a diagnosis that's life limiting. Sometimes tragedy is an argument with your loved one, or things didn't go your way, or you thought you were going to get a promotion and you didn't. Or for me, the day that I was advocating for my lung cancer patient for palliative sedation and I was let go that day, I still don't know. Did I advocate too strongly? Was it because a month and a half prior, I truthfully answered a family member's question about turbo cancers from a direct answer from Dr. Patrick Gilhole, who practices in Lancaster and York County. So I wasn't going off a YouTube doctor. I was going off a local doctor I respect, who told the entire IDG nursing team at a different hospice agency what he is seeing. And it's something that we all have to deal with for those who have been denying the truth. I don't know if it was that, but tragedy happens. And unless you have a rock to hold on, which for me is Christ Jesus, and you have resilience, because even if you have Christ Jesus, and I don't know how to word things sometimes because I don't want to ever take away from what God can and cannot do. But I believe resilience is so important. So to me, there are three pillars. My faith in Christ Jesus, and some of you who are my viewers, I'm thankful for you, may say not your cup of tea, coffee, whatever. There's also the pillar of forgiving people. And I've been working hard on that in 2025. But some people have trouble with it. I have trouble with it. But I believe one thing that we could all do is find areas of gratitude. What are you grateful for? So for me, and this video is going to be published. My hope is to publish this on Wednesday. I publish Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Is I'm so grateful for a laundry list of people who put there's Helen, who's Mama Bear, literally Mama Bear injury lawyer. She is such an amazing individual. I was talking to her today. She's been an American for a little over 24 years. A week or two ago was her 24th American birthday, but she legally migrated to here, I believe, at the age of 25. Came from Turkey. She spent some time in Bosnia, and she is such a warm-hearted, loving, energetic. I maybe because my energy level so low as an introvert. To me, people like Helen are like superheroes for the energy levels they have. But she tries so hard to help small businesses like mine and others bloom and grow by connecting the dots that we ourselves don't always know how to connect. So her and Donna Angel, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for Sandy Adams, who has Just Love Coffee. Uh, Again, this is going to be publishing on Wednesday, but I'm going on Tuesday to Breakfast Brew at 7:30 in the morning, hosted the third Tuesday of every month at Just Love Coffee. And she invited me to speak for it's a 15-minute presentation, 10 to 15 minutes. I'm planning on speaking in October, the third Tuesday in October, where I'm going to try to see how I can intermingle breast cancer, because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, as well as being a doula, without butchering it. No pun or grotesque or morbid any intent. But I'm thankful for Sandy. She actually invited me not only to come as I've been coming, but to come and present and share what do I do and bring my business cards and my brochures and talk. I'm grateful for Sandy. I'm grateful for Joshua. And even though I cannot remember the correct pronunciation of the insurance, it had to do with farmers. Uh, I'm grateful for him taking the time, and he introduced me to his parents, who ended up having everything in order, but there was a thought of maybe I could help with a living will. But all of these loving hearts at this trade show or clinic, depending on what you want to refer. Uh, some of you may be asking, well, Peter, how did you go? Did you do any business? Um, had I had I had my square.com reader, which is being shipped to me, I might have been able to sign somebody up immediately. One person. But that's all it takes. One person makes it. That's all. I have a fire hot lead that I'll be reaching out to tomorrow morning to schedule a time to meet at a public location of their choosing, to look at doing an intake and see where that goes. And this is a person that I met with that understood not only the value of a living will, but understood the value of a end-of-life doula being available to you through the journey in life. Because we don't know what is going to happen with and to us. And in a way, by the way, we're transitioning into the trade show, how did it go, as part of answering this question. But I'm grateful to that person. And I had another person come up. I refer to this person as a warm. This person is in her 80s and understands the value of a living will. But she did ask, is this something she could do on her own? And I'm transparent with everyone to the best of my abilities. Yes. And even to the point of, call me if you run into issues. And depending on what the questions are, in full transparency, because this is what I told her, is I'll do for free what I can. I want to take a pause here to give you something to ponder. It was something that's one of my, I think it was Jessica Sandler. Don't quote me on the last name. She's a fellow end-of-life doula. She published the article about red flags when hiring a doula. I featured her article a few videos ago. She posted something that is beyond meaningful. I want to share with you. Doesn't have to do with the trade show. It has to do with life. If you tell the truth, you never have to remember what your story was. I'm paraphrasing, by the way, because I don't remember her quote exactly, and I didn't pull it up on, like, I don't script things. I've shared before to all my viewers, when I'm with a patient, a caregiver, a family member, it's not like I have a prompt and I'm not looking at AI for what to tell me. This is real life. And even though I'm recording this, I'm treating it like real life. But isn't that true? If you tell the truth, if you do your best to tell the truth all the time, and I firmly believe there's never a case where you have to lie. I don't believe there's such a thing as a white line. I'm not saying that to preach. And I'm going to move on, yes, because somebody's probably saying, move on, Peter. So, but here, I'm just sharing with you what I told this person. And it makes it easy to share because this is who I am. And Helen called me over to one of the tables where there was a gentleman on oxygen and had his daughter was present with a very young child of hers. And so I was able to do some, for lack of better words, free consulting because he was sharing what the healthcare providers were telling him. And I did share, I agree with them, but I gave him a perspective of they were trying to encourage him to complete the living will. Um, you keep a copy, your daughter gets a copy, your family members gets a copy, your doctor gets a copy. Everybody's on board, everybody's on the same wavelength. And by the way, if you need me, here's my number. So anyone who knows me, this whole event was outside my comfort zone. I am undiagnosed autistic, high functioning, high masking. Uh, Ask in the comments below if you don't understand what high functioning. It doesn't mean that you're Rain Man. It just means that um, you're aware enough part of the time. I don't want to say all. It's not like it's definitely not all the time, but you're aware enough of uh, enough to mask, so you actually come across looking normal. But my wife can tell you I've had panic attacks. Uh, that would be its own video of that type, that ugly side of autism. And I've had people say, like, you're showing all the signs, but you have empathy and compassion. And I didn't know this, that you can actually, but anyway, that's going to go down a rabbit trail. Sorry about that. So, but for me, this was out of my comfort zone. I'm autistic, I'm introverted. Um, I had a lot of trouble with all the different sounds and the people talking and trying to isolate who's talking to me. Uh, it was, there were times it was uncomfortable, but praise God, praise Jesus. I lasted I stayed to the very end. I didn't think I was going to do that. And I have several names and several email addresses. By the way, before I forget, a gratitude point. I'm grateful for my wife who came and set up the table and provided moral support and went out and came back and got me luggage tags for my tote bag, my Doula tote bag, and my camera bag. And I'm thankful for Anna Adams who was texting me, "You're going to do fine." And I'm thankful for Melissa Meadow. And hopefully it might be Meadows. Again, short-term memory, have mercy on me, please. Some grace. But Melissa is a funeral director and a certified end-of-life doula. And what a wonderful person Melissa is. She is a mastermind when it comes to green burial. She is a mastermind when it comes to green burial. And I was in shock when I had a wife come up to me and look at my tablecloth, the runner, all the stuff. What do you know about green burials? My mind went like, psh, because I've been like, what do I call myself? Because if I say death toll, most people are like deer in the headlights. You've ever heard of midwives? Well, we're the opposite end of the spectrum, deer in headlights. And so when she came up and said, "What do I know about green burials?" And the catch-22 is I know enough to be dangerous, but I also know enough that when I am dangerous, don't go there because I don't want to mislead. Remember, you tell the truth, you don't have to worry about your story. So I told her, kept it to the what I call the flat line, the baseline, which was the truth. I moved to Kentucky late last year. I'm still researching. In fact, I do want to write a book on green burials, but part of my hesitancy for writing the book on green burials is that while laws are not changing day to day and month to month, so the book would add value for a period of time, it's still unbelievably murky and it's extremely deep. Like I just finished the end of care plan book and I didn't know after all the formatting the paperback was going to be 563 pages. Side note, did you know, I didn't know until yesterday, Amazon doesn't do hardcover books on KDP that's over 550 pages? I was like floored. Do I take out 13 pages or publish? I don't want to remove value. Anyway, with the green burial, if I were to go that route for a book, my gut feeling, because I have a database I've been building on green burial. I don't have it memorized. I build a database and then I go and look up what I need. But I have a database on green burial. My gut feeling is this would probably be 700-800 pages easy. I don't know. Maybe I'm making a big fish out of nothing. But Melissa is an expert. So I when I talked to the husband, and he was what a wonderful individual. He is a woodworker, and he makes boats. And we're not talking cruise boats. We're talking like fishing boats, 1 or 2 person wooden fishing boats. And he wants to be buried in a boat in his own land. He built the boat he wants to be buried in. He made a lid for it so they could seal him in. And he already knows what he wants in terms of a living will. And he took up my information. But what a wonderful conversation. And it's like he was asking, like, could he be buried in his own land in a boat that he made? Melissa Meadow, and it might be Meadows, to the rescue. I text her. In fact, pardon me. It's Meadow, Melissa Meadow. I text her. Well, are the in city limits and what's it, out of city limits? Oh, they're out of city limits, and Kentucky, like Pennsylvania, has a lot of counties. This is a county. Oh, there's a lot of paperwork to work with the county. She'll send me the paper. God bless you, Melissa. Wow. And so I got that person, I got that family's telephone number and email address, so I can send them that information. So for me, out of my comfort zone, I shared to several of the vendors and the people there. Even if I got nothing, even if that hottest lead went cold as a ice block, it was worth it to go out there and network. And part of the reason that I'm sharing this to all of you is more and more of my viewers are not just hospice nurses asking themselves, maybe I want to be an end of life doula. Maybe I want to be like Peter, where I operate as a part-time or full-time business. But there's end of life doulas I'm collaborating with. This is one of the reasons I love Sandy Adams, by the way, platonically. She has a saying, people on the top collaborate, people on the bottom push people away and they compete. Be on the top. So I've been collaborating more and more with my fellow end-of-life doulas, and I'm trying to encourage, get out there. Because Donna from the chamber asked me, Peter, what am I going to be doing in the community after this event? And my hope is I don't have a date yet. I have to put it together, and I am juggling. I'm trying hard to put this together. I have uh, 4 presentations done, multiple handouts done, learning objectives done. There's 8 modules, four sessions per module, so that's 32 sessions over 16 weeks. And I figured if I could get 2 sets of 4, so that's 8. If I get 8 presentations and all the handouts and everything done, I could have the course ready by October, but real life, I can't live and breathe the course. I have to be there for my puppies, for my wife, for potential clients. So I was on the phone after a trade show. I had a lady from Pennsylvania reach out twice. Could I help her get her med tech certification in Pennsylvania? And while I've trained in Pennsylvania for med tech, I felt it would be more justice to direct her to a trainer in Pennsylvania for this particular, because it really is better if you could have somebody that could train you hands-on for certain things. Like, here's a syringe and show me how you're going to draw it up. And I know you can come close with video, but I want this person to get the best. And it turned out when I got them on the phone, they said, you know what? They thought they weren't going to be able to pass. They actually got their certificate in the mail. So, whoa, it works. So the bottom line is by getting out and networking there, people in the community are getting to know you. Um, Laura Montgomery got back to me while I was at the clinic, Peter, here's where it's going to be at on Friday the 29th, where I'm going to be doing a presentation to a group of individuals that work at high level assisted living, nursing homes, attorneys, home health care, and so on, agencies. I get 15 minutes of their time. And again, if nothing comes out of that Friday, time, investment, time, constantly showing up, showing integrity, showing character. The message is getting out there, and I'm encouraging you to put one foot in front of the other and try. And if you fall down, get up, take a breather if you need to, validate the experience, debrief what you need to learn from this. Like I was asking my wife, maybe I should have had my services on the portion of the table runner that faces people versus the contact information. The table runner was inexpensive enough that I'm probably going to order another one, just rearranging things, not immediately, but it's on my mind. And so thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to comment below. I'm going to put some links in the video description below. I want to put the contact information for those of you who want to hire, contract out Melissa Meadow. I'm going to include a link to the International Doula Life Movement. I strongly believe in their school. I'm going to put a link to the table runner. I'm going to see what I could do about it. I may have in a different video, but I'm probably going to do it again. There's a faith-based doula, Laurel Nicholson, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. So I'll put in some links in the description below. This is a non-judgmental channel. Please ask. Please, I love collaboration. Ask. I don't know all the answers, but let's work on it together. Thank you, and God